to week 4 of becoming what you are praying for. And I am broadcasting again live, uploading this video to YouTube so that if you're unable to log in and you prefer the visuals, then that's what you're going to get today. You're going to get the visuals as well as the ability to listen to this at your earliest convenience as often as necessary. Now, you notice I look a little bit different than all the other videos. And that's because, guess what? It's kind of chilly. And I don't like my head being cold. So, just to give you some background, I am relaxing here in a beautiful location located in Austin, Texas, visiting family. So, again, welcome to week 4 of becoming what you are praying for. And this is Emotional Physical Therapy here on Blog Talk Radio. And I am your host, Dr. Danielle Mincy White. And if you recall, we are in chapter 2 of A Course in Miracles, and that chapter is entitled The Separation and the Atonement. And then today, week 4, here on Monday, December 16, 2013, I'm going to be coming from the 4th section, Healing as Release from Fear. Now, if you're a subscriber to the Emotional Physical Therapy newsletter, then today's topic was concept versus experience. And if you recall, I've been dealing with becoming versus praying for. And what does becoming mean? What does it mean to become? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to start off like we always start out with the broadcast, and that is to get into the present moment. So just relax, place your feet firmly on the floor, and then I want you to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, you're going to breathe in. And as you breathe in, you're going to say, breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. And then as you exhale, breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Again, breathing in. I know that I am breathing in and breathing out. I know that I am breathing out. All right. And let's start. How's it been? Are you stressed out over all this Christmas shopping? Well, as you know, it's about giving. And of course, in order to give, you must be able to receive. So, with that being said, I am about to gift you with what I am giving myself, and that is Principle Miracle number 4, which reads, all miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. His voice will direct you very specifically. You will be told all you need to know. Wow. That just seems so fitting, doesn't it? And of course, it would be fitting because we are discussing in this 8-week series becoming what you are praying for. And it's not a matter of it just being something up here in your head. It can't be head knowledge. And I know, believe me, I know. I wanted it to be. Wouldn't it be easier if we could just read a book and by the end of the book, we would be who we know we are inside, who God created us to be, who we were intended to be. I've been really, like focusing on puzzles. And you know how when you go into a store and if you were one of those people who do puzzles, and I applaud you because that requires so much concentration, so much focus, so much the ability to be still, which those are things that I definitely have to work on. But I digress. But about puzzles. And you think about how when we go to a store and we see puzzles, and of course, puzzles, you select them by the order of difficulty, your ability to complete a puzzle. And you do so by looking at the pictures on the box, and that's the big picture. And that's how it is for us as a universe, as a people. The big picture, and the big picture actually being God and where we fit as far as us being God particles, us being puzzle pieces, okay? And when you think about it, all the pieces of the puzzle are necessary. They are important to the completion of the puzzle, and they are important to the big picture for you to see the beauty, the intricacy. However, not every piece locks together. When I got that revelation, it was like, wow. Because sometimes we believe that, okay, well, we are all one, so I must try to fit myself with everyone. And it's like, no, although everyone does have their important part to play in this grand universe that we're in, this grand universe that we are, not every piece fits together. And with that being said, I'm going to go over here to lesson 350 in A Course in Miracles. And as you know this, and you may not know this, but this is the 350th day of 2013 on this December 16th, this Monday. And it reads, miracles mirror God's eternal love. To offer them is to remember Him, and through His memory, to save the world. What we forgive becomes a part of us as we perceive ourselves. The Son of God incorporates all things within Himself as you created Him, with the you being the big Y. Okay? Your memory depends on His forgiveness. That means that our memory of God depends on our ability to forgive. What He is talking about, our brother, our sisters, is unaffected by His thoughts. So while you may think of yourself in a negative sense, what you really are is unaffected by your thoughts. That's not about what you experience. Because, see, we have so much power to create an experience. Let me read on. But what He looks upon is their direct result. And that's what I'm talking about. What we look upon, what we experience, is the direct result of our thoughts. Therefore, my Father, I would turn to you. Only your memory will set me free. And only my forgiveness teaches me to let your memory return to me and give it to the world in thankfulness. And as we gather miracles from Him, we will indeed be grateful. For as we remember Him, His Son, meaning the whole Son, all of us, part of that big picture, will be restored to us in the reality of love. Yes, this is Dr. Danielle Mincy White of Emotional Physical Therapy, and it is a beautiful day here on this Monday, December 16th, 2013. And as I broadcast on Blog Talk Radio, I'm also streaming this here on YouTube. And as I'm looking at this, the photo booth, I'm kind of shiny right here, but all right, that's fine. Okay? So, how has this been for you? How have you been experiencing becoming what you've been praying for? How has your transformation been going for you? Well, when I talk about concept versus experience, concept is a lot like my wigs. You may say, huh? Yeah, concept is a lot like my wigs, okay? Because, see, I wear wigs in the wintertime as an accessory item. It helps me to get through those gray days and when it's cold and, in Florida, it rains a lot during that time. Wearing wigs helps me to keep things light. So, depending on what I'm feeling like, when I purchased this wig that I have on, I said, this is for whenever I'm feeling a little Kelly Rowland-ish, okay? The singer Kelly Rowland. And I have several other wigs, an Afro wig that I wear, during February for Black History Month. So those are concepts. The experience would be if I were to lock each and every one of my sister locks in order to wear my hair like this. That's the difference between concept and experience. That's the difference between being and praying for. A couple of days ago, as I was in my meditation, the word belief came to me. And it wasn't just a matter of the word coming to me, it was really a matter of belief. Belief is an action, and it's based off of what we've experienced over time. So, what we believe in is what we live. And it was like, wow, so belief is be living. I be living. I know that's bad grammar, but you get the gist of it, correct? So, a big process in becoming is what today's topic is, and that is healing as a release from fear. All right? So, reading this, and this is coming from chapter 2 in A Course in Miracles, and this is section 4. And of course, this corresponds to week 4 of this 8-week series, Becoming What You're Praying For. Our emphasis is now on healing. The miracle is the means, the atonement is the principle, and the healing is the result. And if you recall from earlier broadcasts, the atonement is simply the undoing of fear, the correction of our minds. So repeat after me, because all you need to do is be willing to accept the atonement for yourself. And you need do nothing else. Because in the process, what happens is that you begin the process of undoing fear and correcting your mind. So, sentence 3. To speak of a miracle of healing is to combine two orders of reality inappropriately. Healing is not a miracle. Let me repeat that. Healing is not a miracle. The atonement, or the final miracle, is a remedy, and any type of healing is a result. You getting that? The atonement, which is the final miracle, is a remedy, and any type of healing is a result. The kind of error to which atonement is applied is irrelevant. All healing is essentially the release from fear. To undertake this, you cannot be fearful yourself. You cannot be fearful when you accept the atonement, because by doing so, you're holding on to fear. You do not understand healing because of your own fear. You see how it would get in the way? You cannot heal if you're afraid of healing. A major step in the atonement plan is to undo error at all levels. Sickness or not right-mindedness is the result of level confusion, because it always entails the belief that what is amiss on one level can adversely affect another. I know I've referred to the author, scientist, philosopher, Gregg Braden. And as I said last week, I'm reading his book, The Spontaneous Healing of, False Beliefs, Shifting That Paradigm. And this is so important, because oftentimes what we struggle and what we're trying to become, what we're praying for, is the absence of, being bandied about, feeling like a tennis ball, where this thing happens and that thing happens, and I can just relax, and then I can become if all these other things were not bothering me. But as we'll find here, is that we believe that all of these things, if something is wrong, say at the base level, then it can affect all others. And the atonement undoes those fears. We have referred to miracles as the means of correcting level confusion, for all mistakes must be corrected at the level on which they occur. Only the mind is capable of error. The body can act wrongly only when it is responding to misthought. Let me repeat that. The body can act wrongly only when it is responding to misthought. The body cannot create, and the belief that it can, a fundamental error, produces all physical symptoms. Let that sit for you for a minute. I'm going to read it again. The body can act wrongly only when it is responding to misthought. The body cannot create. So the body does not create the disease. And the belief that the body can create disease is a fundamental error. And it's that fundamental error, that belief that the body can create, that's what produces all physical symptoms. Physical illness represents a belief in magic. The whole distortion that made magic rests on the belief that there is a creative ability in matter in which the mind cannot control. Let me read that again. The whole distortion that made magic rests on the belief that there is a creative ability in matter. Okay? Matter being, all of the atmosphere, which the mind cannot control. That means that we're believing again in the separation, which is what this whole chapter is about, which is what this whole series is about. This error can take two forms. It can be believed that the mind can miscreate in the body, or that the body can miscreate in the mind. When it is understood that the mind, the only level of creation, cannot create beyond itself, neither type of confusion need occur. Only the mind can create because spirit has already been created, and the body is a learning device for the mind. Reflect on that. Only the mind can create because spirit has already been created, and the body is a learning device for the mind. Learning devices are not lessons in themselves. Their purpose is merely to facilitate learning. The worst a faulty use of a learning device can do is fail to facilitate learning. So that's the worst that our bodies can do, since our body is a learning device of the mind. It has no power in itself to introduce actual learning errors. The body, if properly understood, shares the invulnerability of the atonement to two-edged application. This is not because the body is a miracle, but because it is not inherently open to misinterpretation. The body is merely part of your experience in the physical world. Its abilities can be, and frequently are, over-evaluated. That's when we see people that have difficulties. For instance, when you look at elite athletes have difficulties with when their skills start to lessen, no matter how often they're in the gym. Okay? While you may train, you still slow down. But that slowing down has absolutely nothing to do with the ability of your mind. The body is a learning device. The body is dependent upon what your mind thinks. It's dependent upon that because the body in itself cannot create, okay? However, it is almost impossible to deny its existence in this world, meaning the body. Those who do so are engaging in a particularly unworthy form of denial. The term unworthy here implies only that it is not necessary to protect the mind by denying the unmindful. If one denies this unfortunate aspect of the mind's power, one is also denying the power itself. All material means that you accept as remedies for bodily ills are restatements of magic principles. Let me repeat that. All material means that you accept as remedies for bodily ills are restatement of magic principles. Yeah, I know you've heard of the placebo effect. That's exactly what it's talking about. When we accept outside remedies, when we believe that, if I take this pill, then it's going to cure what's wrong with me, what's wrong with my body, then we have belief in magic. We believe that that pill is magic. This is the first step in believing that the body makes its own illness. It is a second misstep to attempt to heal it through non-creative agents. It does not follow, however, that the use of such agents for corrective purposes is evil. So, we're not saying here that the use of the agents, the use of the pill is evil. No, no one is saying that whatsoever. No, 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 no. Let's make sure that you understand that. Sometimes the illness has a sufficiently strong hold over the mind to render a person temporarily inaccessible to the atonement. And what does it mean to be inaccessible to the atonement? That means that because the pain may be so great, the diagnosis may be so devastating to a person, that they are inaccessible to the concept of the atonement. So thereby then they would be able to experience the atonement, to experience the undoing of fear, because they're so wrapped up in that fear. They're so wrapped up in what's going on within their bodies, okay? In this case, it may be wise to utilize a compromise approach to mind and body, in which something from the outside is temporarily given healing belief. Something from the outside is temporarily given healing belief. This is because the last thing that can help the non-right-minded or the sick is an increase in fear. So it's okay, because the last thing that you want to do is to increase someone's fear. They are already in a fear-weakened state. If they are prematurely exposed to a miracle, they may be precipitated into panic. You have to be ready. A series prior to this one was Becoming a Manifestation Master. And a lot of times we say we want to manifest things, but guess what? If we're just not quite there yet in our belief, then if we do manifest before we're ready, we are panicking like, uh-oh, wait a minute, but it didn't come in this way, and maybe this is a setup. We're real quick to believe in setups when we are fearful. When we are fearful of the power of our ability to create. Yes. And that ability to create, remember, is not from our body, but it's the fear. It's the fear of our bodies being destroyed that precipitates us into panic. Okay? This is likely to occur when upside down perception has induced the belief that miracles are frightening. Just what I said. The value of the atonement does not lie in the manner in which it is expressed. Oh, that right there, if that does not give you the ability to breathe in and just enjoy the fact that the value of the atonement does not lie in the manner in which it is expressed. Oh, that's so good. In fact, if it is used truly, it will inevitably be expressed in whatever way is most helpful to the receiver. See, you don't have to worry about a setup because whatever is most helpful for you will be in the manner that the miracle comes to you. So it won't be any doubt in your mind. And remember, this was customized, tailor-made to you. So if the person across the street doesn't get it, it's not for them to get, as it says here. In fact, if it is used truly, talking about the atonement, that undoing of fear, that correction of the mind, if it is used truly, it would inevitably be expressed in whatever way is most helpful to the receiver. This means that a miracle, to attain its full efficacy, meaning its full effectiveness, must be expressed in a language that the recipient can understand without fear. This does not necessarily mean that this is the highest level of communication of which he is capable. It does mean, however, that it is the highest level of communication of which he is capable now. The whole aim of the miracle is to raise the level of communication, not to lower it by increasing fear. This has been Dr. Danielle Mincy White of Emotional Physical Therapy here on Blog Talk Radio. Next week, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, week 5 of becoming what you're praying for. Be blessed.